Hello there, in this lesson we're going to show you how you can use our brush script 3D printable fonts and using Fluid Designer for 3D printing. We're going to make a simple pendant, a YSL pendant. You could use any characters you want, any letters you want to make up your pendant, but we're going to do it with YSL. We are going to use a connector with this, and we're going to use a wire connector, probably a 3mm diameter hole, but we'll add that later. We'll add the text first of all. So if we go to brush script font, you can see there's a A to Z there. We're going to start off with the letter Y, so we can just drag and drop that onto the workspace and just move that properties panel out of the way and just zooming back with the scroll bar. I'm just going to move the letter Y up. We now want the letter L. Well, rather than drag and drop that, what we need to do is to go to File and Append, and we just need to look for brush script alphabet fonts, and we're looking for the letter S, so brush script font S. We want the object brush script font, and we just append that from the library. And then we just need to reposition that, so I'm just zooming in there, so we just need it to overlap. So there's Y and S, and I'll just press A on the keyboard to deselect that. And we want the letter L now, so if we go to File and Append again, just go back up through our menu system, we're looking for brush script font L, and we want the object brush script font, and we just append that from the library, and we just need to reposition that so that it overlaps with our Y and the S. So there's our three characters now, and as you can see they've got depth to them, but what we want to do now is to join them all together once you've positioned them, that is, and we do that by just holding down the shift key, select all three objects and just go to Tools, Object Tools, and join them together. Okay. Now they are made up of curves, these items, so if I just delete this bevel object you can see the original curve there, and if I just press the tab key and go into edit mode, that's what the objects are made up of, curves. So if I just press the tab key there, come back out again, so what that means is I can select any kind of thickness here for my bevel object, so that's 1 by 1, that's 1 by 2 millimeters. So in other words, it's 1mm across there and 2mm deep. So you can adjust that to whatever setting that you want. It is possible to scale up the size of this. At the moment, as you can see, it's 29mm long. We could make it bigger or smaller, so if you just press S on the keyboard you could scale it up. If you do that in Fluid Designer, you've always got to remember to do Control A and apply the scale, and notice how the thickness changes back as you apply the scale. Now you can see now by doing that I've got loose objects in the middle, so I don't want to do that. I'll just do Control Z and undo that, and just leave it in the original format, the original size. But you can play around with that as much as you like. So if I just go to View and Top now, I need to put some connector on this so I can put my chain through it. So I need to go to File and Append, and I'm looking for 3D templates connectors, and I'm going to use the 3mm diameter hole one, and add that object, that wire connector with a 3mm diameter hole. These objects come free with Fluid Designer, so you'll find them on your system. So if I just zoom in there, and with that object highlighted, if I just go into edit mode, I'm just going to delete a couple of control points, make it a little bit shorter. And I'm going to rotate my YSL, rotate it about the Z axis 180 degrees, and just reposition it. Now the only reason I do that is that when I upload it to Shapeways, what I find is that it needs to be orientated upside down in order to get the rendered image looking okay in Shapeways. You don't really have to do that. So I want to join these two objects together now, and first of all I select the connector because I want the properties of the YSL pendant to be the main properties. So I hold down the shift key, and I've highlighted both objects now, and if I just go to Tools, Object Tools, and join them together, notice that my connector takes on the same properties as the pendant itself. So there it is, there's my YSL pendant, and the only thing you need to do now is to export it as a printable file format. So if you go to File and export it as a wavefront object, and I like to export it to the desktop, and I'll just change the name of that to YSL because that's what I've created. Export that object to the desktop, and what you then need to do is to go to Netfab and just fix that in Netfab. It just take a second to save this. My computer just running a bit slow. Yeah, it's saved it now. So if you just go to Netfab and go to Project and open up from the desktop the brush script font with the characters YSL that we've just created. There'll probably be some errors in this, but it doesn't matter too much because Netfab will fix it. Yeah, we've got as you can see, we've got an error message there. I just need to move my Netfab window across, and so you just click on Repair, and it tells you where the problems are. There's some border edges and some holes, but it doesn't matter. Just hit Automatic Repair and execute the repair, and then apply the repair and remove the old part. And as you can see, once we've done that, we've got rid of our warning red triangle. So there's our YSL pendant, which can be uploaded to Shapeways or whichever company you use to be 3D printed. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson. Thank you.